So the guy I told you about, Dr. Del Carpio, he's kind of my boss as a VP of Community Affairs. He's a guy you're going to get to know very well over your 4 years at LSU. He's a great resource. But on a closing note, what Dr. Barkmeyer brought to the table here and what all these other families are going to bring to the table is a very specific story. And when you get your camper assignment, obviously Alan should be able to give a full family history and presentation, but I want you to really get to know the people that you're going to be taking care of, not only the camper, but the parents, and realize that a lot of them have siblings. A lot of them might have, other special needs kids in the family. If they have if it's only one special needs kid, then maybe these parents are using this week to devote time that they normally need to devote to their special needs child to the other kids. So realize that this is a really special and then this is a really significant story that each family has to tell, and that this is a really special week for these kids, and we really can't underscore or emphasize this enough. That this is really not about us, and you're going to feel, I guarantee you, a lot of you are going to feel tired during the week. You're going to feel like it's dragging along at some times, depending on how excited or tiring your camper is. But please don't lose sight of the fact that each one of these kids has a story, and you're making this week very special for them and their family. So with that, I'll give it to Dr. B.
Welcome. It's good to have you here. I don't know if I interviewed anybody in this group. Did I interview anyone up there? A couple of people. Good. So some people got in. Great. Look, how many are not in the current L1 class? In other words, who's coming in new? You see all the new hands. That's right. So most of you are new people. That means the L1s who aren't here are in deep trouble. So anyway, on behalf of the Dean's Office and your colleagues shortly, your classmates, your upper classes of school, welcome to LSU School of Medicine. And thank you for being a part of Camp Tiger. I'm sure James has told you the history about Camp Tiger, and I won't belabor that very much. I've had the privilege to be the faculty advisor for Camp Tiger for some 22, 23 years. So it's been a big part of my life. It began very much about the same time in my life as it did in your life. And it's interesting that Dr. Barkmeyer refers to Holland. I was a young man a long time ago, another century in a country far, far away. But my first experience with children with special needs, I was 19. I was going to go follow my then girlfriend and her family, though a different pathway, to Holland. Turned out she was Dutch. I wound up with a friend of mine who was in the Notre Dame Seminary, and he said, look, while we're here in Holland, let's go ahead and work with a group of friends of mine who are in college who take care of kids with disabilities. I said, sure. Sounds great to me. I'm 19. Ariane, I didn't see my girlfriend in Amsterdam. Well, I remember the first day in that camp in the woods in north central Holland. I was 19, had a great time, partied a lot of fun. College was going along well, and I got to spend the summer with Ariane and my girlfriend. Well, the buses pull up, and the bus doors open, and out come these children who don't look like my little brothers and sisters, who don't look like the neighborhood kids, who have tubes in their nose, tubes in their bellies. They don't seem to be very able to stand up or even sit right. They're salivating everywhere, they're slobbering, and some of them smell like they're full of poo. And I go, uh-oh, I can't speak a word of Dutch yet, and they can't speak too much yet. Being from New Orleans, and so it was an eye-opening experience for me, and I realized that first moment when I saw the buses and these kids unloading that, they were going to be my responsibility. It wasn't something that was going to be turned off to a neighbor or to an adult. It was my turn to be responsible, my turn to be the adult. And over the next 3 weeks, we did 24-hour, the way the camps worked in Holland, where you full immersion camps in the woods, with kids that rarely went outside, never left their parents, or never left care facilities. They were your responsibility. You formed clusters of teams of 4, and you took shifts. You slept with the kids in their beds, You put them on the potty in the morning, you coax the poo out of them, you change the pee, you wash the furniture, you wash the kid, you wash the clothing, you wash the dishes, then you wash yourself, and you did it over and over again. This was, of course, a long time ago. I'm 60 years old, so I was, it's 40 years ago. Medicine was a different ball game. There were a lot of special needs, a different approach to life. But the big thing was to take these kids and give them an opportunity to have the same fun that you and I had as we grew up. I got to meet some very special friends. I still keep in contact with some of those young people that I knew back then, and that experience changed my life. It made me think about school in a different way. I came here after teaching. I taught in Orleans Parish for 10 years, and I came back to school here. And as soon as somebody said, "Hey, we're looking for an advisor for this Camp Tiger for kids with special needs," so it was my turn, and I didn't hesitate to stand up. Every camp for me, every camp is a new camp. It's exciting for me every time. I can't tell you that. I get emotional. It's just a wonderful experience to see you, as young adults, come into the sphere of medicine and begin to deal with your first patient. That kid you're going to take care of and be a part of a team to take care of him. And never lose that enthusiasm, never lose the excitement, and hopefully you won't. How many of you have taken care of a child with special needs? You know the challenge that Dr. Barkmeyer spoke of, the challenge that James spoke of, and the challenge that faces both Dr. Longwell and Dr. Barkmeyer every day. And it's just a great thing you're going to do for these families. It's a great thing you're going to do for yourself. You're going to realize that, hey, he just crapped on me. But it's not his fault, and it's just something you have to deal with. You can see that all the time when you see your patients as you move through medical careers. They're going to be angry with you. They're going to hit you. They're going to spit on you. They're going to disrespect you. They're going to look away from you. They're not going to obey you. But you need to put that aside because you need to remember why you are here. To give them an experience they haven't had, to take care of their needs, and to help them face a heck of a challenge in the world that you don't have. So it's going to be a wonderful experience for you. Excuse me. Just a couple of things to think about. You're going to be in teams, no less than 2 per team. And I think most of the incoming are going to be teamed up with one of the rising L2s, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a reason for that. You're going to get tired, you get irritated. This is a way to give each other a break. If you're having any trouble, if you're not getting along with someone, if it's too difficult for you, take a break, call someone else. There'll be enough students around, enough L2s around to give you a little relief. Don't hesitate if you have a problem. Medicine's a team sport. It's a team sport. So don't be afraid to say, I'm having trouble here, I can't handle this. Take a break. Let someone else step in for a minute. It works both ways. As Dr. Barkmeyer said, you're giving these families a great time off. That 5-day period seems like a short time, but when you have a special needs child that you care for all day long, all night long, all week long, all month long, forever long, a short respite is wonderful. It gives them a chance to be with some of the other children of the family, to take a nap in the afternoon, to go shopping by themselves, to do things that they don't have the time to do. So you do a wonderful service besides learning about your first patient. What else can I talk about for you? Medical school is a challenge. Having to meet and the privilege and the honor to meet some of the L1s who will be L2s by the time you meet them. Because the grades will come out by the end of Camp Tiger Week, so we will know that the L1s who are here are indeed going to be L2s. So there's kind of excitement. That's changed over the years. Before it used to be Xerox papers in the mailbox. Now it's online on their phones. You can tell when one kid finds out the grades for physiology are out, bam, the cell phones come out. So it's an exciting time for them as well. The transition time. Camp Tiger gives the L1s becoming L2s a chance to get away from the work that they have been doing all year. Medical school's not easy. It's not all quantum mechanics, though it seems that way at times. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time management, it's a lot of preparation, but it's also a lot of fun too. You're going to meet a group of folks that will be your colleagues for the rest of your life. I taught both Dr. Barkmeyer and Dr. Longwell. And I taught, you to be my age, I think I taught everybody but Dr. Swartz. And but all the young folks, it's kind of fun for me to see that and progress too. What else should I talk about? Let's see. Anything I left out that you haven't talked about, okay? Oh yeah, so you're going to have a lot of a wide range. You saw a couple of kids with autism tonight, some birth defects, a lot of Down syndrome children. There'll be people who are perfectly normal, but they have some surgical problems and surgical issues, some health-related issues that you don't see until you get to know them. Who is the most important resource to you in your camp? The parent. When you get your assignment, which will be coming out, I think, next week? Yeah. What you want to make sure you do is, contact your L2, get to be friends with them, get to look at the packet that they give with all the information about their parents, learn exactly what their special needs are. Sometimes they're not obvious, and as these students have learned, sometimes they're not on those pieces of paper they fill out. So you're going to see, my child has no problems, and then we looked at the medications, there'll be a list of 25 different drugs we're taking. Well, clearly, there must be something wrong, and so you're going to look to the parent, look to the primary caregiver, and they're going to be kind of weary of you. My God, you guys are young folks. I'm going to let you take care of my precious child that I spent 10, 12 years, 24/7 taking care of. I don't know you. I'm going to let you take care of my child. So you need to make sure that you know everything about that child when you meet the parents. That you got that nice face of confidence and excitement for them. You want to instill in them that you can take care of the child, because you will for the next 50 years of your career. So learn to do that right. So meet the parents early. Don't give James a call on Monday morning, the 21st of May. Is it 21st of May? At 8 o'clock. I don't know where my camper is. I don't know which one he is. That's not the right answer, not the right approach. You need to know these people the week ahead of time. Don't tell me you got finals. Don't tell me you got to go home and see mom and dad, go to camping along the Gulf Coast. You have responsibilities now, and those are to this kid and his family. So make sure you take that challenge. If the L2 has not been contacting you because he's studying or she's studying for those shelf exams, which, by the way, will change your life forever, make sure you press the issue, okay? It's your responsibility now. You have to take that lead as well. We've had, in the course of all these 25 years that the camp has been around, 27 years now, I guess, we've had very few serious problems. I'm happy to say that. The L1s and the rising L1s, the rising L2s always come to the front and know what to do. Any EMT, EMS people in here? Bring your kits. Any nurses? Bring your stuff. Bring your talents with you. Don't hesitate to move forward and take command until Marshall, until Jeff get there, or some of the EMS folks get there. The camp has grown over the years to a point when we have to have an ambulance follow us everywhere we go. And they give us a great deal on the cost. Anything else? Well, let's talk about some of the injuries. We've had broken arms, seizures, kids getting completely naked and skating around the skating rink. But nobody really noticed until I said, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. That one's too wrong, right? Yeah, there's something here that's not quite right. It was the same day that James reminded me. I remember Camp Tigerback, I guess, I don't know, 91, 92, where First day of camp, we parked the buses out there along, I guess, St. Charles Avenue. We were at this one particular area where the shelter is. And I noticed that as I get off my bus, there's this medical student sitting on the curb crying. I'm thinking, Jesus, we only been here 10 seconds. And so, what's the matter? Well, it's my camper, who I noticed is not anywhere to be found. So I said, exactly, Marie, where is your camper? I don't know, Dr. Lee. Okay, not a good sign for me. I'm already beginning to change, we're ready to change my underwear, okay? Where's this kid? Well, it turns out that somebody said that they were in the shelter area. I go in the shelter area, and the little girl is not anywhere to be found, but I hear flushing going on in the men's room, and this little girl is in the men's room, in those shelters in Auburn Park, flushing the urinals and drinking from them. And of course, she has soiled herself. So within 15 minutes of the first day of Camp Tiger, I'm covered in pee and poo. I got a medical student crying on the steps, and I got a little girl that's no longer in control of herself, and it spent the whole day trying to solve her problem and gain control of her. And it turned out that she was a little girl skating around naked as well. But they had a sad ending because we lost her, and we had to give her back to her parents, and she couldn't come to the camp. So I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want that to happen to the kid. It was a horrendous time. Everybody was crying. It was a hard decision to make, and sometimes it happens. Sometimes no matter how many campers we have, or how many consuls we have, sometimes we have to let the camper go back. But those are rare events. They're rare. But we don't want that to happen. There was one of the references that I think Marshall Longwell made to a camper with the penis problem. One of the reasons why we watch the age of the children we have is because whether you're a kid who has autism or Downs or some other special need, puberty marches along. I know it's time to not let this camper come back when he starts grabbing behinds on the bus. There's this one young man I remember, nice kid. He became a camp 3 or 4 years in a row, but I noticed that on the last camp that he'd come to, he was always in the front seat of the bus, always focused on the medical student with the roundest behind, and he pinched everyone he got a chance to. So it was time I realized, oops, it's time for this young man, even though he may have had the mental capacity of an 8-year-old, he was really physically 15 and had a different interest. So we have to be careful about the age limit, so we limit it to 15 at most. But anyway, we had this young man in a wheelchair, and he had a male camper, and counselor, and a female counselor. And every time the female counselor was on duty, he had to go to the bathroom. So, and then he always complained about this burning sensation. Now, when he had the male camper, not a problem. I'm okay, I don't need to go to the bathroom. So we actually took him to the ER. This used to be the PEDS ER behind University Hospital. And in there, working as a resident, somebody going to be in the careers here, is Dr. Jenna Vegno. Jenna Vegno was the Camp Tiger director back in the late 80s, and she was running the PEDS ER at that time. So we strapped this kid in the back of my van with duct tape. He was in a wheelchair. We get him over to the University Hospital, and he's gone. Jen's an attractive young physician. He had to go to the bathroom again. She takes him in there. She's there for 10 seconds, comes out and says, "There's nothing wrong with him. He's just a young man who has reached puberty and has found a way to get an entertainment." So, again, that was a time for his last camp for us too. Just couldn't handle it. There are, as I mentioned, we've had seizures. No one has been seriously hurt in all 25 years. We've had some pretty tough times. Kids who were intubated, kids who had PEG tubes, these G tubes that Dr. Bark and I talked about. Sometimes, I don't think we have anybody like that. We have any special needs this time like that? Where we have, you got a few PEG tubes and any, okay. So there'll be sometimes, we used to have a group of students, a group of campers that came with their own teams. I don't think we have anybody like that, their own. We might have one, okay. So those are actually a great group to be with too. Anyway, I want you to have fun. I want you to learn. I want you to accept responsibilities. I'm excited that you're here. You're going to be meeting and working with these people the rest of your lives, and you hopefully you found the niche you want. And welcome again. Any questions? All right. Okay. Thank you.